Find your mouthpiece and put on your jock straps. It's the Sports Blitz with Doug and Robbie.
Okay, how long is your show?
You guys have such a great setup.
Listen, if you're under a rock or if you're in a cave, come on out and listen to our episode.
It was fun talking baseball. I love talking Red Sox. I love talking coaching.
I don't care because I would rather there not be an MLB season than have to sit and watch the colossal embarrassment.
Hey, hello, I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching.
There you go. In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Sports Blitz. I am Doug. We have Robbie here. Robbie, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, Doug. Doing great. Very excited to be here, for sure. I mean, this is going to be – it's already been an awesome episode. They didn't even hear what we said before, but very excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a great episode tonight, and we have a special guest. We've had him on before. He is like, from what I saw, he is the most watched episode from the last episode he was on.
Yes.
Unbelievable. The most watched episode. It's George, and we'll see. We're having some technical difficulties here and there, but we'll try to make sure that he's on. That's George. There you go. That's George. Wow. So here we go. Our sponsor for this evening, today's episode.
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised too. Is brought to you by
Okay, man.
Yeah, I'm all right. Simon Organizing. Feeling overwhelmed with the room, George? I know you always do. A cabinet, a drawer, need something organized? Contact Simon Organizing. They will work with you to create and organize a space that is really comfortable and a joy to spend time in. Just remember, Simon Organizing, creating a stress-free home.
Link in the description.
That's right. Link in the description. Check them out. We have George here. George, we're so glad to have you back on. George, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. It's been a pleasure to talk to you guys once again. You know how I feel about you. You guys are great. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, George. We love to have you on because you are the most watched episode. So we have you on all as much as we can.
Wow.
So today we're not talking about where we all met, which is Rivers.
Right.
We're going to be talking about the NBA, and we're going to be talking about specifically the Boston Celtics. So I wanted to get your impression. First of all, the Celtics are 3-1. They actually lost their last preseason game to Orlando, but they're 3-1 in preseason. But you said, George, in pregame that you actually watched the last game. What were your impressions? And again, not a lot of the starters played. So I wanted to get your impression about what you thought about the last game that they played, since you did have a chance to watch a little bit of it.
Oh, well, excuse me. I think that in order to win an NBA championship, you have to have a good, solid bench, a good, solid 9 to maybe 10 players who basically could start for you at any time. So it doesn't really make any difference. The Celtics went out, and what they did was they picked up a couple of players, but there were some players they have been developing over the last few years, like Nesmith and Lanford. I mean, they've really coming in on. Pritchett, did a great job during the summer, I thought, in terms of being a point guard and providing the leadership during the summer league, which was very good. Unfortunately, they lost this. I believe it was Sacramento. They lost in the finals.
Yeah.
But other than that, he did a great job. I think they're going to have a good, successful season, barring any serious injury to the team, because injury can present a problem if you got a couple of your top players out. Okay, it may cause a problem. But from what I saw, the second unit, if that's the second unit, did a great job in terms of passing the ball. They had chemistry. They rebounded. They played defense. And they enjoy playing with each other. That's the key. Playing with each other. That is the key. And that's the key, that when they come off the bench, because nobody can play 48 minutes. But when they come off the bench, it's like them starting. And also, I think they have an excellent coach who studied under the coach from San Antonio. And I think that he'd be very successful. He can relate to the players, which you need as a coach. You got to be able to trust the players, and the players have to trust you. Even in close games, okay, it's as a coach, we're the team, not I coaching, you're the players. It's we're the team. And I think, and that's what he brings to that team. And also, he was an excellent player himself over the years that he played, whether it was in Europe or a couple of teams in the NBA. He did very well. So I'm very impressed with the Celtics. I'm very impressed on what they did over the last few months in terms of trading people away, bringing in new people, getting the chemistry going. Okay, bringing back Al Horford, I think was very important because they needed that veteran leadership. So he's back. I think that the guard who got hurt, Brown, he's back. Okay, with Tatum. So I'm very excited to see that there's a possibility that they have the potential. I think they'll be in my opinion, the top four would be the Nets. I think the Knicks, because the Knicks play D. They played tough D. They're not, I think, as tough offensively, but I think they play a lot of D, which will keep them in one of the fours. I think Atlanta has already proved themselves, and they're going to be back. They're definitely going to be back. There's no question, no issue. And the Boston Celtics is going to be back. I was trying to think of a fourth team. Don't be surprised if you see the Hornets with Ball, because he was Rookie of the Year last year. He got hurt, unfortunately, and he was still Rookie of the Year. And I feel, even though I believe they got blown out the other day, but that happens.
They got blown out by Utah.
Utah. That happens. But the West,
Utah's a really good team. So,
but as far as I'm concerned, the West is tougher anyway than the East.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Milwaukee. I'm sorry, Milwaukee. Milwaukee. Milwaukee is in my opinion, the top team. So we'll see how that goes about in terms of how they approach. It's a whole different ball game when they step on the court. It isn't like last year. It's this year. And I think also the fact that the guys, they took their shots, they followed directions, they followed the CDC instructions, and they're coming together. And I think they're going to have an exciting season. Okay, barring any type of serious injuries. I think that
or COVID.
And COVID, but if that subsides,
right?
That subsides, and that slowly but easily starts to go away. The Celtics by May or June could be in the thick of things, but I would say that the toughest thing would be the Nets. If Curry does not come back, then I think they're a real tough opponent. To be honest with you, the two of them would be Atlanta, and it would definitely be Milwaukee. But if Irving comes back, then the issue is going to be how to deal with him. And I said this before. I think they went out and got the former guard of the LA Lakers.
Schroeder,
Schroeder.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Schroeder is the key because he is as fast as the gentleman from the Nets. He plays solid D. He's very smart. Okay. Curry does not want to see him. That's one guy he don't want to deal with.
Yeah, and you and I talked about this actually on the phone that before we a few days ago we talked about how Kyrie doesn't want to face this guy because he's tough on D and he doesn't give him any space. No, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So and not only that, after the Olympics. Apparently, there's now an arch rival with the Nets in Boston because some of the players who played they played together to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
But they're now right after the game they were talking kind of a little smack against each other. Well, I'll see you, blah 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 blah.
What else is new? They always do. Larry Bird was the biggest one on that. You know that.
One thing about
Yeah.
One thing about Larry Bird, he could back it up.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
tell you, I'm going to shoot right. He told McDaniels when they were playing Seattle, I'm going to shoot the ball right here, right in front of your face. And he did. Daniels said that. He says, man, this guy is unbelievable. But I think the Celtics got a good chance. Another thing is having the crowd come in, having a whole back to hopefully normal where you have a huge crowd or sell out the Garden for their games. I think not only that stadium, but all the other NBA stadiums, they need that crowd to pump the teams up, whether you're a visitor or not. I mean, to do that, Madison Square Garden is another thing. So basically, they need that now. It makes a big difference because a lot of guys, they can play hard, but they're not really that pumped or really, intense unless there's a crowd behind them, the home crowd behind them. And a good example is the Red Sox, who had that crowd behind them, because one of the things that they did is they stole a game. When they stole that second game, that the opposing team was in trouble because that means they would have to win 2 at Fenway versus 1. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway, I wish them well. But the Celtics, I think they're going to be doing well. I'm trying to find out who they would keep. Like I said, the second unit I saw, I was very impressed with. I didn't see Pritchard out there in the second unit.
He got hit in the nose.
Oh, he got hit in the nose. Okay.
Yeah, he was out there for a little while. He was out there in the second unit, and I guess, and again, I didn't see the game. I was going to tape it, and I tried to. I actually taped the wrong thing. I taped some kind of, I don't know why. I think it was the poker series of America or something like that. I was totally off. I don't know what was going on. I think that no, Pritchard got hit in the nose, and then they decided not to put him back in again. So it's they don't know whether it's broken or not. But all he's got to do is wear a mask. But that guy can shoot.
Right. Yeah. He's a good player.
He can shoot.
He's a good player, and I like his game. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the guard from Washington for next year when he becomes a free agent.
Oh, Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, yeah. Well, he and Tatum are close. He and Tatum are tight.
Very tight. So that's what they're trying to do. First they were mentioning John Wall, but I don't think he will fit in with that particular team. Yeah. The way he plays. I mean, he's a great player, but again, it's systems. How can you fit? How can I fit in this system? How can I produce in this system? Okay. When Russell Westbrook left Washington, he played very well with him in Washington because Russell Westbrook can play with anybody because he runs, he plays hustles, he plays defense, and he flies. He runs, and that's all he knows. Okay, I understand he didn't have a good game the other day playing for the Lakers, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes
it's also preseason. Preseason. Who has a good?
Right. So basically, that's about it.
Preseason. I mean, really, really good game. I mean, nobody's scoring 40 points because you just don't. There's not enough time. Yeah. Players are going in and out. But I think what Ime Udoka is doing is he's trying different starting lineups. He's trying different ways of putting things together. You can have a big, you can have start big, which is you got Horford at the power forward and you got Williams at the center. So you can start big, or you can reverse that and have Horford at the center position, and then you have Tatum and Brown and maybe Schroeder and Marcus. So or Richardson. So you can have Richardson in by Schroeder, but Marcus is going to be the point guard. So that's basically what's going to happen.
Not the first game. He's been suspended.
I know. We were going to talk about that too.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but he was suspended. So this shows you that the new coach, he
Yeah, as you can see, folks, we're actually having a little bit of technical difficulty, unless George has turned into an alien. So that's very possible. I'm not sure which, but we're gonna keep on.
I will say Marcus Smart missed the team flight. That's why he was suspended, is what they're
Yes,
saying. Is he
yeah,
missed team flight.
yes, he missed a team flight, and I like how Udoka has rules and regulations about, hey, if you miss a flight, well, I'm not going to take any crap from anybody. I don't care who you are. So that's really good. George, stay with it. Stay with it, man. Stay with it. It'll clear itself. But yeah. So Robbie, basically that's.
Well, we've lost George here for a minute, so hopefully he'll be back shortly.
We've lost George.
Gotta love
to
the
the
age
aliens.
of Zoom. We gotta love the age of Zoom, But we'll power through. We'll power
Yeah,
on.
we will power through and power on. George will be back most likely. He will be back. It's that technical difficulty that we have, but no problem. So I think what Ime is trying to do is he's trying to say, look.
And by the way, I'm
coach.
glad I'm not the only one that keeps butchering his name or mispronouncing his name. So
It's Ime Udoka.
it's
That's his
Udoka.
That's what I just said. Udoka.
No, you said Udoku. You said Udoko.
No way.
Yes, you did. All right, I'll go back and play the tape.
right,
You
yeah,
just said Ime Udoko.
Play the tape. Whatever, dude. His name is Ime. That's what I'm calling him. All right. There he is. He's back. Maybe. So Ime has got some rules and regulations.
Right.
That's what the deal is, and because he's got those rules and regulations, he's saying, look, I'm the coach. This is what's happening, and I don't really care about it. This is the way it goes. There's rules, and whoever breaks them is going to get punished. And that's what I don't care if you make $50 million, and I don't care if you make $1 million. It doesn't really matter.
No.
So that's what I like
accountability.
It's
that accountability. You need, and that's
it's
what you need
absolutely
to have.
accountability.
That's what you need
Absolute
to have to
accountability.
run a successful team. Absolutely.
It is,
Absolutely.
and he's got enough guys to be able to say, okay, well, Shooter breaks the rules, he's suspended for a game. You got somebody to replace him. So it's one of those things where he's not going to take any crap. And I'll tell you, I love the guy because of that.
Yeah.
He is a player's coach, but he's a tough player's coach. He learns from Pop. He learned from Popovich, Greg Popovich from San Antonio. And it was freaking fabulous. Yeah, absolutely. George, it's good to have you back. If it happens again, don't worry about it. Just come back on, and we've just been talking since you've been a little away.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's just Zoom. It's the way it happens. But
I just want to ask you this one question.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots. Okay, I don't think they may not do anything this year, but there's one thing that's perfectly clear.
Yeah.
Their quarterback. Okay, next year they get a line. He's going to be seriously dangerous. He's dangerous now. His release is so fast. It's gone. Like a foot of like a boom, gone. And,
Definitely a
what's
nice change
happening-
of pace from Cam, right?
Well, no, it isn't that. It's the fact that they needed, and I said this before a few years ago, they needed this draft a quarterback, let him get in there, let him take his bumps, and so after a few years, they'll be fine, but you just can't go and try to get someone who's been somewhere else. I say just get someone new, start them from the get-go, and say, okay, you're a rookie, and this is how we're going to do it, and that's what he's been doing. I'll be honest with you. They should have won the first game.
Yeah.
When the guy fumbled, so he
Yeah.
lost. So that was, then they won the second game against New York, and then the third game they just bummed up. The defense did not come to play against New Orleans. They just didn't come. And then they played Houston, okay, and you can see there's a lot of potential. But I tell you right now, they got a serious problem with the Cowboys coming up.
Yeah,
The
the Cowboys are
I'm
Cowboys
not
are
looking
going to be
forward to
tough
that,
this
seeing
year.
that
The
game.
Cowboys are tough. Going to be tough this are tough
They're
this year. I
gonna
should
be
say.
tough.
Yeah.
They're very good, and he's back. The quarterback's back, and they're
Yeah.
averaging points-wise. They're averaging a lot of points per game, which is I think they lead the NFL now for the last 2 games. So we'll see. But back to Boston, I'm very happy that Ainge did it. Ainge decided to go, and then they hired Stevenson. And what Stevenson says, listen, I'm going to go get a coach, and I'm going to go get some players, and he
Right.
did. He did as a general manager, went and got him some players, and he's not through yet. This man's not through. Now, you ain't going to believe this, but Danny Ainge drafted all these guys who were scattered all over in Europe or whatever. And the big question is, what are you going to do with them? Because they're under contract with the Celtics. The Celtics are paying them.
Right.
Whether in the G League or the European League, okay? And some of those players can flat out play. Some of them should be in the NBA. So I don't know what Stevenson's going to do with that because he inherited a lot of that from the former boss. So I don't know if they're going to do with that. But I think it's going to be an exciting season, and I hope the fans get behind the Celtics because this team looks like it's going to cause a lot of problems for some other teams, and may have an opportunity to go to the finals. They got a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they absolutely do, and I agree with you about them being in the top 4. I mean, I've kind of thought the same thing, sort of watching this team during preseason and sort of looking at them heading into the year. I was curious to get your thoughts on this, George, because we were talking about this. Our last episode is about sort of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Obviously they've become star players in their own rights, but sometimes they sort of get a rap as not being able to perform, in the big games, in the big moments. So I was just curious what your thoughts were about them heading into the new year and what you expected out of them.
I disagree. I thought that when Brown got hurt, Tatum carried that team.
Yeah.
He had to. He had no other choice. Okay, now with Brown back, so you got Brown and Tatum, and then you got, I believe it was the guy who shoots, Nesmith. Nesmith.
Yeah.
You could, I'll be honest with you, he's looking to start. This kid is looking to start.
He's definitely looking to start. I'm looking to start finding another Zoom for WebEx or something else. I don't know. It's kind of weird. George, stay with it, man. Stay with it. Oh, yeah, go ahead. I just don't know whether he's going to be. I don't know. We're kind of hearing it in the background, so you guys do. So.
Do that, Doug.
Yeah. Wow. He's definitely talking. I'm just not really sure what he's saying.
Yeah.
But that's
Al Horford. Yeah. You. No, but what I'm saying is that I think that you put him at the 4.
Yeah.
Having problems again. You guys having problems with what I'm saying?
Now I hear you.
We can hear you.
Technical
stuff. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, Robbie?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah, because what I was saying is that
maybe it's his location.
Flexibility. You could put
George, if you're in trouble, say the word milk.
Tatum at 4, along with Horford. I'm sorry.
You want Horford at the 5 or Williams at the 5?
Location. Because I'm having an issue with you guys. It's your location. I don't know where you at.
All right.
We're still here, George. We have not left.
You look like you're having some issues.
We haven't left. So
George,
George,
we look like we're having some issues, and George apparently we're all having issues. This is the whole big issue.
George's having some issues. I think he may be in the Callahan tunnel, but I'm not sure.
Horford at the 5 and Tatum at the 4.
Wait, not Williams at the 5? Not Williams?
Next minute. Okay, at the forward, where Brown would be.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You're talking about Nesmith versus Brown.
Yeah, George, we can hear you off and on. I don't know if you can hear us, but we can hear you.
Yeah, George, just keep talking. We're listening.
No,
we are
none. No, I think you guys have issues.
Yeah, well, we're good.
No, I would take
get
Williams and have him come in. Have a rotation. I have
so he wants Williams to come in.
The guy they got
I'm translating German or something.
Memphis.
Oh, Richardson.
Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson.
Yeah, I can hear you.
He can't
hear us, and we can barely hear him. So
we can hear him, but
what I'm saying is that I forgot about the gentleman from Memphis. They played it from Memphis. Richardson is excellent basketball player.
I don't think
So
yeah, it's Richardson, I think.
and
Richardson,
rotate
yeah.
with Al. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh, there. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, George?
No, I didn't say I can. I'm talking about the guy from Memphis that
Oh,
we traded for.
Yeah, are you
Not
talking about
Richardson.
Richardson? Not Richardson.
No, not
oh,
Richardson.
Juancho Hernandez.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Juancho.
What a
Thing.
that's a steal. Big time.
Yeah.
sticker.
We talked about that too, George. We
Yeah,
talked about
yes.
that too. He's
Let
a
me tell you
steal and a half.
And let me tell you, when he comes off that bench to play, oh, that second unit's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
They're
No,
gonna be
he's
excellent.
definitely good. He's definitely good.
And their second unit may be better than a lot of second units in the East.
So George, tell us about your top five. Who do you think is going to be your top five?
While Milwaukee,
No,
Atlanta?
top
No,
five. is in
starting
starters.
five.
I'm sorry,
Starting
starters.
five.
Starting five. I'm
For
sorry.
Celtics.
I said
starting
wrong.
five, I would say I would put Al at the 5, even though Al feels uncomfortable. But it doesn't make any difference whether you're a 5 or a 4.
Yeah, he
It just doesn't make a difference.
So is
Now, we
Williams
said
the
before
4?
that
Is
he-
Williams the 4?
No,
No, Williams
Where's
is not
Williams?
there.
Williams
From
comes
what
in
I
off the
saw,
bench.
Williams comes off the bench. What I got is Brown, Tatum, Al, the point guard, which would be not Smart, but the other one,
Schroeder. Yeah.
Schroeder,
Yeah.
and also Nesmith.
Okay.
So you want Nesmith at the 2?
I want Nesmith. Well, Brown and him could go 2 or 3. It doesn't make any difference. They're the same height. Doesn't make any difference when you're 6'7".
Okay, so you're putting Tatum at the 4. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Tatum,
okay, so-
let me tell you, and usually guys playing the 4, Tatum's going to kill him. He's going to eat him up because he's too fast. For a guy
Right.
his height, he's fast, and he
Yeah,
can
he
shoot.
is.
He can shoot. He can shoot over anybody. So that's why I think we'll do. And then you bring Smart in for the second unit because you have a veteran who's running the show. You bring him in with Langford, or you can even bring in Pritchett with Smart if you want to. You can do anything.
I would rather bring in Pritchett than Langford. Langford to me has shown some things here and there, but
Langford
way
is
too
he's a wing.
inconsistent.
But he's a wing.
I know,
He's not
but
a
he's
point
so
guard.
inconsistent when it comes to
Then trade him.
defense and playing
Trade him.
and shooting.
Trade him.
Okay, well we'll tell Stevens to trade him.
Trade him.
Wait,
or
hold
release
on.
him.
Let me get him on the phone. Come on, Brad. Yeah, George says you should trade Langford. Oh, you will? Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, thanks. All done, man.
I thought Langford had a good game last night. I thought he had a good game.
He did.
From what I saw,
he did, and he's been playing. He played really well in summer league. He showed a lot of promise in summer league. The problem is that can he keep that consistent throughout the whole year? And I
Well,
don't
here's the
know if he
problem.
can.
It deals with
No, go ahead.
okay. It deals
I just
with
wanna ask you a
confidence. I think this
Yeah.
coach will give him confidence. Well, he'll do well. See,
Yes.
one thing about being a great coach is to be able to give those young athletes confidence that they can believe in themselves. And I think what I saw yesterday, he now can believe in himself because he has the skills. He just got to believe. And I think if he's out there with the veterans, he's going to be okay.
Right. So if you had your choice, and I think I know the answer to this question. If you had your choice between Neesmith and Langford, which one would you pick?
Oh, Neesmith, there's no
Yeah.
doubt.
That's my choice too.
Yeah,
But you
I agree.
remember Neesmith's skills are different than Langford's.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Not only that, Neesmith is an attacker. He's an aggressive attacker. He will attack
is.
you and attack you and attack you. Langford is a laid back kind of guy. Well, yeah, should I
Yeah,
go? Or
let me
not?
stay over here so I can grab
Yes.
this and shoot the ball. Neesmith isn't. Neesmith is you're right. He's an attacker. He goes into the basket. He doesn't. He's not afraid to go baseline. He's not afraid to shoot from outside or shoot from the.
But you know what's happening?
Wherever.
Association rubs off, and he sees Brown do it, and he's doing it.
Right.
If you notice, he sees Brown doing it. He
Yeah,
says, I'm going to do it. So association rubs off. So that's why I said the reason why you go get veterans is that veterans have been there, done that, and they're able to say, okay, listen, it's the little things, not the big things. You know you can play, but it's the little small things that the old Boston Celtics with Russell in them, used to teach the young guys. It's the little things. That's why it made John Havlicek such a great player. That's what made Larry Bird a player. Dennis Johnson was tough. Ainge was tough. They all went that little.
Dennis Johnson is probably the most underrated player in the 80s.
Unbelievable. And
Unbelievable player.
You know who he had a guard? He had a guy, Dave Thompson. Dave Thompson, when he came in the NBA, I've never seen a guy who can jump that high. No one got up there with him, but Dennis Johnson was the only guy in the NBA to play defense on him. He could just simply play D on him because he played smart.
He had to guard the other guys too. He had to guard Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. He had to Isaiah Thomas, not obviously the Isaiah Thomas from Detroit in the 80s and 90s. He had to guard some of these unbelievable players, these Hall of Famers that he had to guard, and he was amazing doing it. So he did a really, really good job. I just think Neesmith seems to me that he came from a better program than Langford did. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just think he's more seasoned.
The program has nothing to do with it. It's the skill. You could play for anybody and have skills. It doesn't make any difference. It's like you're not sure yourself, so I'm not going to go make that move because I'm not sure.
Right.
I'll tell you a great example, and it's a true story. When Earl Monroe went to Winston-Salem College, a freshman, you ready for this? He went there and he tried to, his game and stuff. They laughed at him. He was going to leave college. It's a true story. They laughed at him. And his coach says, by the time you graduate here, they're going to praise your name. Do you know when he walked on his home court, they were yelling the Pearl. Okay? Because what he did was he turned around and says, oh, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on my game. And that's what he did. And it was all about confidence. And so Big House Gaines, who was the coach, instilled their confidence in him. So when he came back as a sophomore, they didn't laugh at him anymore. And then junior and then senior year, they praised him. I mean, who are you going to find someone to score 44 points per game over 30 some odd games consistently and win a national championship? And he won a national championship in Division II, and he was Division II National Player of the Year, Earl Monroe, and he was third. You know who went first that year? Guess who went first?
I don't know.
I would say I don't know. I would say Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain.
No, Bill Russell was already in the league.
Oh, Bill Russell's already there.
And it was in 1967. Jimmy Walker went first. And after Jimmy Walker was,
man, I would know that. For it. But okay, I got it.
And then Frazier went second and Monroe went third.
Okay.
Okay, and they all ended up in I think they're all in the Hall of Fame, I believe.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And Jimmy Walker's from Boston. Jimmy Walker's from Boston.
Yeah.
Jimmy Walker's from Roxbury. He's from Roxbury. I knew him, unbelievable player in person. I was a kid then. Unbelievable. But I tell you, I'm very looking forward to seeing Boston play this year, and I think it's going to be an exciting year for them. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
No, I was going to say, George, you have any thoughts on the Kyrie situation? Is he actually going to play this year for Brooklyn?
Kyrie, that's his decision. I know he can't. He's banned from all these NBA arenas because if you have not taken or complied with the CDC in regards to the team, he can't play for that team.
Yeah,
and he's losing a lot of financial money for doing that. Okay, right. And it just shows you that is he beyond the team? No, he's not. He's not beyond the team. And if the team have to say goodbye to him, they'll say goodbye to him because he can't play. They can't use him because he doesn't want to play. I heard he may come back. I find that very difficult because he wants to stay out. And also, let me ask you this, Doug. I asked this question.
Yeah.
Simmons from Philadelphia came back to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the big question is going to be,
George, he's standing outside the door, though.
Yeah. Well, check this out.
The door's locked. They didn't give him a key yet.
But here's the deal. I believe that the center does not want to play with him.
I know. Oh, they don't have any love lost.
Yeah.
Hey, George. You don't have to be friends to play together.
I know, but I ain't talking about friends. And so here's the problem: either if you're gonna have him here, trade me, and they're not gonna trade him.
No, oh, you would be foolish to trade
No. They're not
Embiid.
going to trade Embiid.
No, you'd be foolish
They would
to
get
do
rid of.
that.
They would get rid of Simmons.
Oh,
So they're trying
absolutely.
to shop Simmons around now.
Yeah, they
They're trying
tried
to shop-
to. They would shop at him for months. No, nobody will take him because it's too expensive. First of all, right now is the worst time to shop. Worst time. You know why? Because everybody's got their rosters pretty much set. At least their starters. The starters are already set, pretty much. So if the starters are set, and even if you have a couple of guys from here and there, the starters are set. The issue is that because he's expecting to get moolah,
Right.
the money, nobody's willing to pay him.
Oh, I meant
Who's
to tell
willing
you,
to
Doug.
pay him?
Right.
LA, maybe.
No.
LA can't. You know why he can't? They tried to get him, and what's that? LeBron wants him. But the fact is that how many players you got? You got the you have the Gomer League there. You have the 35-year-old 35-year-old players there. They'll all get huge contracts. So there's no way you can get it. There's no.
I meant to tell you.
Because of that.
Have you seen Chicago?
Yeah.
Whoa, Chicago is going to be tough. They're real good.
Yeah, they are good.
Ball, Levine, what's his name? Levine.
Zach LaVine,
Ball,
yeah.
Hey, there's some rumors that Stevens is very interested in Zach LaVine.
You won't get him. You can forget about it.
Can you, Matt? Well, there's some rumors that Zach LaVine doesn't have a problem.
But he won't.
Boston.
No, they have to give up some serious people. They're not giving up Tatum. Yeah, you can forget that. They ain't giving up Tatum.
No, they won't give up Tatum. They won't give up Tatum.
No.
They may not have to give up anybody. They're going to get him maybe at the right time. But I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to get Beal. But still, I just heard some rumors about Zach LaVine. But Zach LaVine's off the hook.
Let me tell you something.
That guy's off the hook, man.
Chicago, you know the white guard that played for LA last year with the band on his head? Bald, white guy.
Oh, Caruso.
Guard.
Caruso?
Oh, cool. He is tough. Him, Ball,
good play.
Bean. And who's the guy that used to play with the Toronto?
No, I know that, Robbie. I just put him on that team last night.
Right.
Toronto, on my NBA 2K. I just put him on. That's how I know.
Well, who's the gentleman? Who's the gentleman who used to play with San Antonio who was traded from Toronto to San Antonio? The guard. The big guard who can play, who shoot.
Is he Chicago?
DeRozan? Is it DeRozan?
No, DeRozan? Are you talking about DeRozan?
He plays in Chicago. Let me tell you, Robbie, I saw them the other day. Unbelievable.
That's going to be a tough team to beat.
They run, and I'm telling you, Ball can pass that ball. He is amazing.
They also have Tice too. Oh, I love that. That's a great quote.
They got Tice, yeah.
That's a great quote.
They got a good team. I like that team.
They got D Tice too. They got D Tice.
Oh,
they got our guy Tice.
Well, he went out.
Yeah.
He went out. The guy from Chicago went out and got himself some ball players. Now, here's the thing about it. His contract is up at the end of the next year from New Orleans.
Zion.
His contract's up.
Yeah, see, George and I are right here.
He's not going to be there. He wants to go. He wants to play in New York.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He won't be. He'll play for New Orleans this year, but once the year's over, he's done.
If he plays, you see the latest.
What?
He's getting a second opinion on his foot. He's going to miss the first game.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on there, but he's not 100% right now.
Well, no, you remember when Michael Jordan hurt his toe, and they told him that he won't play for the remainder of the year. He said, "I'm coming back." He came back, and that's when he threw in 63 points against Boston.
Yeah, I know. Well, Michael Jordan's a little different than Zion Williamson, who just came in the league. But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
I'm talking about the toe, his injury. Once he gets over his injury,
I know.
Okay.
No, I know that. I just don't know how healthy he's going to be at the start of the season. He really needs to start well with that. I figure going close to the middle of the season, he'll be fine. But my feelings is that once his contract is up, he's already said that he's leaving New Orleans. Right. Well, he definitely wants to, of course.
Yeah,
Because
he'll be gone.
he doesn't feel that management is doing enough down there to
They lost ball.
they're exactly they're sending players out. They're not bringing players in.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe a few here and there, but not as much to be able to win a championship. I wanted to get your idea on. I know we just touched upon LA a little bit. Well,
Right.
what do you think? I know we talked about it on the phone. What do you think?
I think
about LA?
Well,
And I'm
what
talking
happens
Lakers,
is,
not Clippers.
okay. I think what happens is the Lakers went and tried to sign all these guys who were all stars and were prime players back in the day. That's what I see. And then they figured that they could still do it. But what's happening with them is when you're 38 and 39 and competing guys who are 21 and 22, you're not gonna be successful. I think the Lakers are gonna slow down the game and slow down the tempo. The only problem is you can't slow down Russ Westbrook. Russ Westbrook, we will not slow down.
He's the only guy that's running though. I mean,
no, but I'm just saying.
Caruso,
no, Caruso's not there. I'm just saying.
That's right. He's on Chicago.
Right.
I just switched him last night.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have NBA 2K. I had to switch it.
Okay. But what I'm trying to explain to you, you just asked me a question.
Yeah.
You asked me a question about that, and I'm trying to explain something to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because of the age factor and because of the injury, Davis is injured. He always his knees. He's been out for a while. The guy used to call Superman, the big guy who used to play with Philly last year. Yeah. He'll rebound and block a couple of shots. That's about it. But basically, as far as running and a high tempo game, no, they can't have a high tempo game. They have to have a low tempo, couple passes inside and do a lot of cutoff. And then either LeBron will go 1-on-1 or Russell will just run from inline to inline. But basically, that's a tough thing because the Warriors will be back with the Splash Brothers, especially with Thompson coming back. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be back.
Oh, okay?
No, definitely.
And,
absolutely.
And then you got Phoenix is tough.
Yeah.
And then Sacramento Kings is coming up. They're coming slowly but easy. They're creeping.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is amazing. He's really,
amazing.
really good point guard.
Real point guard. So the West, in my opinion,
they got Barnes too. Barnes is good. Somebody we tried to get. Celtics tried to get.
Right. So I think the West is tougher, but I don't think LA will be coming out of the West. I don't think they're going to be coming out of the West. They're just not going to do it.
They of course, but they, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. But I think that it's interesting because LeBron's always like, "Oh yeah, we got something to prove." Blah blah blah.
Well, he's been saying that for years, but however, he's got to face the reality. Is know your personnel. He knows the personnel back in the day was awesome, but the problem is, like Elgin Baylor once said, he said, George, once the knees start going, then you got problems. He said that to me when I talked to him on the phone. He said, once your knees got going, that's it. Because I asked him, why did he retire at the age of 36? He said, I couldn't do what I used to do when I was 25.
Yeah.
And I understand that now. He said, I couldn't hang in the air. I couldn't, blow by people that fast anymore because of the knee issues. And then when you play for over 82 games over a span of 10 years, the knees starts working on your knees. Okay, and next thing you know, you have to have a knee operation, or you can't move as like you used to move.
Right.
And that was mostly for guards and wingmen. Centers can handle it. Jabbar played many years because he played center. He didn't have to run up and run here and run there. But these guards over the course of 10 to 15 years, what happens to them is that their knees start to wear down. And next thing you know, you either have to have a major operation or they can't really go anymore. And so they have to face the reality. And Reggie Miller is another one. Reggie Miller is a great star, but he even said time has come to move on. So eventually, as you get in your late 30s, it's time to move on. In terms of retirement.
Hey, listen, you're right. You're absolutely right. Larry Bird's the same thing. He had a really, really bad back. It wasn't really his knees that were the problem, but you notice the last couple years of him being in Boston, he was laying down. He was laying down in front of the bench.
Yes, sir.
On the side of the bench. And that's what it is. He just said, in his press conference, leaving press conference, he said, I would like to play another couple of years. I just can't do it. My body
You
won't
can't
let
do
me
it.
do it.
Your body won't let you do it. Same thing with the Chiefs. Okay, same thing with Mikhail. Mikhail said it's over.
Oh yeah,
And he said it's over. I can't do this anymore.
yeah. That was
Johnson,
his knees. His knees.
his
were really
knees.
bad.
Yeah, and then Johnson as well as Ainge. They said this is over. Havlicek, who I thought was probably the best player I've ever seen, who could run for who could play 5-6 games in a row, finally said, "Hey, it's over. This is it. I can't run like this anymore." And he was opinion. He could run in the fourth period. He was never tired.
Right.
In the fourth period.
Oh,
So
he
it just shows
kept
you
going and going. You watch those old games. You can see some of those old games on YouTube. It's incredible.
Incredible.
How he
so,
played the game.
Yeah. So basically, so I'm looking forward to the NBA. I think Chicago's a few teams are going to be very exciting to go see at the Garden. Chicago's going to be definitely being one of them. And then some of the teams from the West are going to be tough. And I still think Memphis is tough with the guard. I think they're going to be tough.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, George, this year for any sort of early picks to win it all or anything like that? Any favorites?
No, it's too early.
Yeah, I asked him that on the phone. He would not commit. He would not commit yet.
No,
hey,
you can't have no favorite now. You can't have no favorite now because you don't know when it's time for the playoffs or the middle of the season.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That you got 4 or 5 guys that go down for injury and they can't play, and because they can't play, they won't be able to to do it. Can you imagine losing the style of the Milwaukee Bucks?
Oh, Giannis, yeah.
Giannis,
that would be game over for him if Giannis went down.
If he goes down, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And it's also difficult to know because again, it's preseason. A lot of guys are going to be let go right now. And so Brad Stevens is still going to be looking to make the team better even before the season starts. So again, it's that same thing. I wanted to ask you one last question from me, George. Right. And again, thank you for being on. You've been absolutely terrific with all the technical stuff we've had. But but it happens. It's Zoom. It happens.
Okay,
so
I know.
I wanted to ask you, they asked Ime a very technical question, but I wanted to know you because you have actually coached. He's Udoka. He is
the coach.
He's the coach. Yeah. Yes, they asked him a question. They said, so they didn't ask him about the starting 5. They said, how many players do you think on average that he would send out there? First and second string, first and second team. Mm-hmm. He said between 12 and 13 players. Now they're allowed to have 15.
Right.
Okay. On the bench because they got typically they have two-way players. And the two-way players can come back and forth to the G League and not.
Right.
They already have one. Sam Hauser's one. He's a great shooter, but he can't do anything else that I've ever seen. Okay. But other than that, on a technical kind of coach, I know you've coached before. How many players do you typically use? And I'm not talking NBA. I'm talking all around. How many players? Because he said probably 12. He's talking about 2 teams plus 2 guys. The team. So is there a formula to this, or is it just who the best guys are?
No. My team that I coach because we're starting the league this Sunday, have 12 guys on the team. But all 12
I'm on it,
guys,
Robbie, by the way. I'm playing for
Okay. But all 12 guys have to play by league rules. They have to play. Okay. Now, barring that, if I had a team, my opinion always been like what Russell said. All you need is from 8 to 10 players. Okay, top-notch players to win. You need a strong bench. Okay, now you could play for our players, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens is the fact that players need to be out in the game for a while to get the rhythm going, especially the rhythm plays. Get the rhythm going, get the blood circulating and running. Okay, now 48 minutes in the NBA is a lifetime. So you could play actually 12 to 15 if you wanted to. Okay, you could start the 5 in the first player, play them 8 minutes, come with the second unit for 4 minutes, continue for 4 minutes, then bring in the third unit to wrap up the second half, and you can pick and choose, all depending on who you're playing. And another thing it deals with who you're playing and how you match up. It's the matchups in the NBA, which is important. Yeah. That's what it is. And what happens is it's the matchups. You may have a matchup where this guy is like LeBron James, in my opinion. No one can guard him. Okay, I mean, there's no one can guard him. And I feel bad for the person who's responsible for guiding them, okay, whether they start or come off the bench. But you're looking at other teams that have mismatch, and you want to use that mismatch to your advantage as a coach. You say, okay, there's a guy guiding him, he's 6'9", and the guy guiding him is 5'10". Well, of course, he's going to kill him inside. That's common sense, okay? So that's what you do. So a coach has to look at, okay, what is my advantage of putting this particular person in or these guys in at this time? And in the NBA, because it's 48 minutes, you got to have a bench because no one can play 48 minutes.
Right.
You need an ambulance. You need an ambulance to go to the hospital because you'll dehydrate. And that's why guys get pull muscles like a calf or a thigh. They pull muscles because they're running. And also they have a bike available so to keep them warmed up. Just in case they gotta go back in. So it depends on the coach. But I think there's nothing wrong in the NBA to play 12 guys. You can play as many guys as you want to. Matter of fact, the coach looks like he's in good shape. He can go out there and play.
Yeah.
Actually, I was seeing that. Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, George, he's a good player.
Now, George,
he was a good player.
My last question, since we have you on, George, is I know we've talked about this guy a few times over the years. Kelly Olynyk got another sort of very nice contract this offseason. I just thought, just since you're on, I wanted to get your thoughts on Kelly Olynyk. I had to ask.
Well, you know
something.
Well, you know what happens, Robbie? When a guy plays for one team and he doesn't do that well, but he goes to another team and fitting in. He was able to fit in with Miami and gain the confidence that he had once in college. And he's playing very well. So it's hard to depend on how you fit in. He couldn't fit in with Boston. He felt uncomfortable, number one. Yeah. He felt that he wasn't that important. So when he signed a contract with Miami, he felt important, he felt comfortable, and he had confidence. And that's the reason why he would become successful. So it all depends on how you fit in. Some players can not do a good job at one team. They go to another team, and they're in the All-Star game. You say, well, how did he get there? It all depends on his development over the season. And that's what he did. He lost some weight. He got a little faster. And his shot got better. And he got confidence. And he's doing well. I wish him the best of luck in Miami. He does a great job.
Yeah.
That happened.
It actually, this goes back to our latest Rivers days where we used to come in and joke about Kelly Olynyk. And every time we brought up Kelly Olynyk, and we always thought that it was George's favorite player on the Celtics, which, by the way, he wasn't. Because, again, just like George said, he wasn't really playing that well, and so it was one.
He left on his own. He wasn't traded.
Yeah. He definitely did. But I imagine that when Robbie told me he wanted to ask you that question because he thought,
Robbie, he's a tough player now. I mean, and people respect him. His teammates respect him because he worked hard on his game. You just can't, like Michael Jordan once said, you just don't wake up and have talent and skills. You got to work on them every day, day out. To get better. And practice makes perfect.
Yeah. So I wanted to just ask you one last question. It should be an easy one, I think. One last question before we let you go. We really super thank you for being on. It was great.
It's a pleasure.
So the last question I have is that is there any? Can you name me one player? If you have to do two, that's fine. But I would like one, if we can. One player on the Celtics this season to keep an eye on. This is a guy that's going to kind of like, wait a minute. He wasn't like this at the beginning. And all of a sudden, it's a guy to watch. This guy's may not be playing as well now, but is going to be playing well later on or something like that. Something to one guy to watch in the Celtics.
Well, I think I wouldn't say one guy. I think there's a multiple guys on the Celtics. Pidgeot is one.
Yeah.
Nesmith's another one.
Yeah.
The guy they got, I saw yesterday, dark complexion man.
Oh, Bruno Fernandez.
I like him a lot.
6'8".
And then the guy, and then from the guy from Memphis is just a baller. He's just a baller.
Wancho, right? Yeah.
Wancho.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no question. So I
Yeah.
would say as a team, I think look out for Boston.
Right.
Look out as a team. Look out for Boston because they're coming. See, and now Tatum has got a serious help. He can sit down and rest, and the guys who come in off the bench are going to be doing very well. That's why he kept them in there, even though they lost. They kept them in there. They did well. They made the young guys. They made a couple mistakes here and there.
They're going to do that.
Okay, but they're going to do that in preseason. But preseason is preseason. Now, when they start the season, it counts.
Absolutely.
You're also not going to have to. You're not going to have to take over games. That's what they did. That's what they've been doing. Tatum and Brown are not going to have to take over games, get 50 points each game, because you got Wancho, you got Pritchard, you got Neesmith, you got these other guys
Schroeder,
who can
all
shoot the
them,
ball.
yeah,
Schroeder and Richardson. These guys, Al Horford, who could give you 13 to 15 points, maybe even close to 20 points.
He's
Horford,
a beast.
yeah, and he came in. Did you see him? Do you see him, George?
He's
He
scary.
came in. He came in. He looks like he's 25.
Well, you know what he did when they Oklahoma wouldn't play him. So what he
worked out.
He went to the weight room. He worked out.
He worked out.
He worked
He
out.
was like, I don't care. I'm going to work out.
And he wanted to come back to Boston. He said, I got some unfinished business.
Yeah,
when you hear a player say that unfinished business, they're talking about winning the NBA. They're talking about winning.
He's in serious mode.
Serious mode. So I'm looking forward to him.
He also said, by the way, that he's going to do a little bit more talking this year. He's been here before. He says he's going to not only talk, but he's going to talk to players. He's going to talk to Williams. He's going to talk to other players about, hey, this is what I see. This is what we should do. Let's do it this way. Let's do it that way. It's going to be more of a veteran presence, and I think that's going to be huge for them.
I want to ask you a question. Is Isaiah Thomas, the left-handed one, he used to play with Boston, is he still in the NBA, or is he trying to get with the NBA team?
He actually, the last thing I heard is that he tried out for Golden State.
Okay.
And there was another guy who tried out for Golden State, and the other guy made it, and he did not. So he is still out there.
Okay.
That's what I think it was about a month ago when he tried out.
Okay.
He's still out there.
Okay. Listen, a team he could go to New Orleans and play because they're going to be at the bottom of the barrel anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think he definitely deserves another chance. I mean, he definitely deserves a chance to come back.
I like Isaiah a lot.
I would love him to come back. I would love for him to come back and play for us. I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
No, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm just like, of course. I mean, which would you rather have, a young Pritchard or would you rather have an old man?
Pritchard.
So, I mean, Pritchard's off.
And watch out for the player from Detroit.
Player from
the number one pick. The number one pick in the NBA was a player who now be playing for Detroit Pistons from Oklahoma State.
Oh, Cunningham? Is that his name?
Cunningham. Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Believe me.
Yeah,
you haven't seen nothing yet. This guy can flat out play. No question. That's why he was number one in the NBA draft. He can play. It's just that, Detroit is still trying to get the pieces. It'll take another few years to get the pieces together.
Yeah. Detroit's Detroit's not a really complete team, but they got a good start. They got a good start. Cunningham. Yeah, definitely.
So gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to see you.
Absolutely, George.
Absolutely, George. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on. We love it, and keep in touch.
Okay, we'll do. You take care. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks, George.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, George.
Bye-bye.
George Physic, ladies and gentlemen, it's awesome. I'm not even sure if he's off yet, but that's all right. That's okay. There he goes. There he goes.
Yeah, George, ladies and gentlemen.
George, ladies and gentlemen.
By the way, the legend,
also NBA talk.
Legend of the Sports Blitz. If you've listened to our intro, you'll know exactly why I say that. Because he did not drop that line though. We were hoping. We were like, maybe.
Yeah, I was trying to.
How long is your show line?
It did not happen. But we've got some other lines that I think we can
We have some other moments.
Some other moments, which is very good. So we'll have to cut those up and see what we can do about putting an intro together with him in it. And again, just a legend of the Sports Blitz, legend of Rivers Day Camp, and just all around good guy and a guy who follows the NBA. And I wanted to kind of make sure that we had him on as a special guest tonight to talk about the NBA and the Celtics. And
absolutely,
he was just phenomenal. And of course, he goes into some other sports too. And
dropping Mac Jones talk in there, randomly. And Red Sox talk. He literally covered all three of the teams. Yeah. 3 of the 4 teams just in that little spurt there. Yeah, that was
it was classic. It's classic.
Did you notice though? I will say this. I know we're going to sort of go into our final thoughts here in just a second, but did you notice when he was talking about the Patriots, he completely skipped over the Tampa Bay game? He just was like, they lost to New Orleans, and then they beat Houston. It's like, George, there was another game right in the middle of there. Just saying.
He totally skipped over that, but that's okay. I mean, talk about it that much.
We always, folks, we always give each other a hard time. So we love having George on. I mean, George is a big part of both of our lives and our Rivers lives, and it was great to see and talk to him again, especially about basketball, which I know is, as we said, near and dear to his heart. So.
Yeah, it's just really awesome to be able to have him on and be able to talk. And I'll tell you, George. Tell you, listen, the two conversations. Robbie, there he is.
Yeah,
there's two conversations.
I know. You
just
a robot.
You did a little bit.
Oh, you kind of did too. Well, you kind of did too. See, that's the problem, folks. A little behind the scenes here is that sometimes for each other we will kind of glitch, and we're both seeing each other glitch at the same time. So one of us thinks the other one's doing it, and the other one thinks the other one's doing it. And then with George, I think both you and I were fine. Both of you and I were on sort of the same thing, and then George couldn't hear us or whatever. So just again, technical stuff.
It's all Zoom. It's all technical. It happens. Yeah. We just keep moving on. We keep talking. We keep moving on until George comes back. That wasn't a big deal. But we love George because George, and again, I've already had 2 conversations with him.
Right.
Each conversation I had to try to get him booked on the show, each conversation, we had literally a 50-minute conversation about the NBA. Each time. And that was within the last week. Both times. 50-minute conversations. Just wild, really, really wild. And we just love having him on because he's very knowledgeable, but he's also very he's real, and that's what I like about him. He's real. He'll tell you like it is. He doesn't beat around the bush, and just really, really glad to have him on. But wanted to get to our final thoughts for if I could speak. Final thoughts for the evening. Final thoughts. See, George was on, so I don't know what's going on. I'm all messed up.
Yeah.
Final thoughts. See again. Did it again. Final. It's crazy. Wow. Okay, let's start again. Take 2. Okay.
Bing. Yeah.
Final thoughts for the evening. There we go. We're probably good now. And Robbie, what is your final thought or thoughts for the evening, this episode of the Sports?
Yeah, so my final thought is, first of all, want to definitely thank George for coming on. Was another pleasure as always to have him on. And my final thought is I just want to obviously wish the Boston Red Sox the best of luck in the ALCS. I know since the last time Doug and I had talked, a lot has happened with the Red Sox, with them beating the Yankees in the wild card round and then beating the Tampa Bay Rays. Shockingly, I feel like, Doug's got his Red Sox hat on. He's ready.
I'm sporting the lucky hat.
But the Red Sox, they took down the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1. And what was a thrilling series, back-to-back walk-off wins at Fenway, which 2 unbelievable games right there. And I just wanted to, wish them the best of luck in the ALCS. I'm hoping that maybe they can, put up now I can't speak. Apparently, it's rubbing off, Doug. Hopefully they can put up the good fight against the Houston Astros. It's gonna be tough. Hey, listen, the Astros are a great team. They have been sort of the favorites of the AL for a lot of the year, and so I don't know what to expect, but I'll be honest, I don't think I necessarily expected us to beat Tampa, and we did. So anything is possible at this point. Red Sox are kind of playing with house money at this point, and just can't wait to see what happens over there.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, anything's possible. That's right. I just can't wait to see what happens over the next week or so. Go Sox. And Doug, let me now toss it back over to you for your final thought. By the way, was episode number 99 of the Sports Blitz.
Unbelievable. So yes, my final thought for this evening is I want to absolutely thank George for coming on and talking all kinds of sports with us, even if it's not basketball. It's he always has some really, really good thoughts and feelings about the NBA, not just the Celtics, but the NBA. So I want to thank him. We really appreciate him coming on every time, and he is certainly a Sports Blitz fan favorite. The other thing I want to talk about is a little bit my final thought for the evening, as we kind of touched upon it just a little bit with George, is Marcus Smart missing a team flight and actually being suspended, being suspended by our coach, Ime. And I think that I don't think it's a great thing that he may miss the first game of the season. But on the flip side of it, I don't know.
Just to clarify, is he suspended for a preseason game, or is it going to be a regular season game?
I think it's a regular season game.
Okay.
I think.
I couldn't tell.
But I'm not sure. We got that from George. George said that it was a regular season game, the first game. But I don't know. I'd have to look that up. Anyway, he's suspended for a game. And if it's the
I think it's just a preseason game, because I think they have the Heat tomorrow for the preseason. I think Marcus is suspended for that one.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Anyway, it's suspended for a preseason game. That doesn't make any. I mean, it doesn't make any difference because it's just preseason. It doesn't count as far as I'm concerned. But on the flip side of it, I like the fact that Ime came in. When he first came in as a coach, met with the team, said these are the rules, these are regulations, you need to follow this. If you don't follow it, I don't care if you make $55 million or you make $1 million. Accountability is huge. This is what we have to do. We have to play as a team. We have to be a team, and we can't miss flights. We cannot do this. If you do, this is what happens. And he actually goes about doing it. There are coaches that say, "Oh yeah, well, next time, don't do it." Blah blah blah. No, this is what I love about our coach, and I think it's going to be a really, just like George said, it's going to be a very interesting season and a season that we may enjoy watching a lot. So we'll have to see what happens. But that is my final thought for this episode of the Sports Blitz. Please remember to
like,
hit
subscribe,
hit the bell.
We're on, by the way, we are on YouTube. We are on SoundCloud. I don't want to hear a word out of you about SoundCloud. We're on Facebook.
We're on SoundCloud for those people who just like to listen.
Anyway, we're on Twitter. And we're no one can hear you. But anyway, definitely, please. All right, I'll get you out of jail. You're still muted. You gotta unmute yourself. Okay, fine. Just be that way. Want to give a special shout out, as always, to our sponsor, Zyman Organizing. As always, definitely. Oh, there you are. And by the way, Doug, let me bring you back in here. Now we have a very special episode coming up next time around.
We do. What episode is that again? What's the number?
I think that would be number 100. Oh, episode number 100. Oh my
That's correct.
goodness. Yes.
Wow, 100 episodes, a century. We've been around for a century already.
Yes. It took us a century, it felt like, to get to 100 episodes.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We may have some special guests pop in and say hello or do whatever. And we haven't really prepared for the episode yet, but we will definitely figure it out. Well,
we were so focused on just the excitement of this episode that we,
it took me 8 weeks to get George back on.
I know,
so you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Talking to him every week, trying to find out when he's free. So it took me a long time to get him on. So now I can focus on our 100th episode and see what we can make it. But yes, we're on Twitter and again a SoundCloud, and we're on YouTube. And please support us. Write something in the comments. Whether you want to see anybody on the show. George seems to know a lot of people. Maybe he can get us early. Maybe he can get us early.
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor. You can talk to Elgin Baylor on the phone or something.
Or the guy from Boston that he was talking about.
Anybody. We're going to ask George about that. But listen, thank you so much for your support. It was a great episode, Robbie. Thank you, George, for coming on.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, thank you, George. And we will see you next time on the Sports Blitz. That's Robbie over there, actually.
Oh, and that's Doug. That's Doug up there somewhere.
I'll see you guys later. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.